Yeah, I've got issues. You got them too. How about you give me yours and I'll give mine to you? I should write lyrics. Yeah, it's not good.
Let me explain. No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
So we're here in Prineville. I've got an appointment for tires. Yep, time for tires, I guess. We're gonna go down here to Bishop Tire in Prineville and see Ray and Levi and Regina and see about getting some tires for this thing.
Why so serious?
Believe it or not, these tires are so bad that it went into full death wobble here just not that long ago. So I've replaced, I checked the shocks. I have replaced the lower control arms with some longer ones. I'll tell you about that. But these tires are so out of round when I bought them that they're cupping very badly, and they don't get rounder as you go. Yeah, if your tires are out of round when you put them on there, or out of balance, things only get worse, and it's not a balance issue. I've had trouble with these Kanatis since I bought them. So unfortunately, or fortunately, it's time to get them off of there. They've got about 27,000 miles on them, and they're a good traction tire. They're lightweight, but that's the issue. They're lightweight. They are 3-ply sidewalls, but they're very thin 3-ply sidewalls, and I've replaced 2 of them in the history of buying them. So
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I wished I could recommend them, but I can't. Let's go put some Falkens on here. Yeah, don't worry about it. I don't think I'm parked right either, or maybe a little.
Grab my purse.
Okay. This is Bishop Tire, owned by the Bishop family. We're gonna see Ray.
Good.
That's Ray. Yep. Ray Bishop, right?
That'd be me.
We're here for our noon appointment.
Good morning.
Should be 315x70R17s. Big tires. I've got to get rid of these Kanatis because they're just not.
So I see okay, so we can track them down.
Mind if I tag along?
No, you're just more than welcome.
That guy never got those Kanatis, have they?
No, he didn't.
Well, you guys are busy today. No, but those are, no, those aren't even it, huh? No, 295. Boy, they're bigger than that even. Anyway, Levi called me, I don't know, the next day and said they were here. So
Okay.
I told him it'd be a few weeks, and here we are.
And you made it.
Yeah,
315x70R17s.
in the Rubitrek.
Correct. You got them? I walked right by it. Well, no wonder. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yep, that's them.
Alignment
Yes, sir.
at noon. Okay. Yeah, so we're good.
Okay. Nice thick sidewall. See, that's the difference between
They are.
these and the Kanatis, just so thin.
Yes.
And,
yes, there was just no. Well, that one's fairly stiff. That's a 20 there.
Yeah, but see how you can stick your finger here? You can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that with these.
No.
No.
No, that's been a. I like that tire.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a huge improvement, and hopefully they're all round and they'll balance out good.
Haven't had any issues with them being out around or balance issues. Not that Ben didn't make it, and it could be the first one. But no, they've been a really good tire. So.
Okay, so the Falken Rubitrek. is a Falken tire. It's a Wild Peak on steroids. Slightly different compound. A little bit better for on-road, but no less aggressive off-road than the Wild Peaks. That's a real aggressive footprint, and the depth on these is enormous. I mean, that's almost, I mean, look how deep that tread is. The deepest in the industry, as a matter of fact. Anyway, these are 315x70R17s, so they're 34.5 inches tall and about 12.5 inches wide on a 17-inch rim. So, okay, we've got the right side off here. I thought I'd come and take a look at, see how this is looking after so many miles. Fronts look good. I checked the shocks, pulled the bottoms off, they expand, they're good and tight, so that's not the cause of our tires feathering out. So everything's looking good, nothing's damaged that I can tell. I'm telling you, tires make a difference. There's that OEM control arm that's just a little bit longer. So if you lift your Jeep a couple of 2.5 or 3 inches, you can buy those for $30 a piece, and that adds a few degrees of caster for you and gets rid of any bump steer. That's another reason why I was really surprised that it went into death wobble. The rear looks good. There's that new Hellwig sway bar I installed. I don't see any damage or anything back here after a couple of 1,000 miles of hard off-road driving.
I'm an excellent driver.
Let's put a smile on that face.
You have to jack it up a little bit more, maybe? Nope, looks like they're going to fit. So what kind of weight did we use? Quite a bit, or just a little? Oh, that's not much at all.
3 ounces?
3 ounces? Yeah, that's actually pretty good considering that size of that tire. I'm recording for my channel. I'll shout you out. What's your name?
Trevor?
Trevor. Thanks, Trevor.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a monster tire. Look at the depth of that tread. So that'll be a good, real good, all-terrain and highway tire. That one only took about 3 ounces, which is a lot less than the last couple of the last two. So 3 ounces of weight's pretty good for a tire that size.
Well, I guess I've got some explaining to do, huh?
Oh yeah, I've got some explaining to do, all right. I can already hear in the comments, tires don't cause death wobble. No, tires don't cause death wobble, but tires can trigger death wobble. Yeah, let me tell you a story about these Kanatis. This is the second set I've owned. I had the first set on my JK, and I bought them online. My second set for the Gladiator, I bought online.
It's a trap!
Yeah, the first set I went through, I damaged the sidewalls on 2 of them, 1 irreparable. And in Moab, last year when I was there with my son and grandson, I actually bumped a rock and took out the sidewall of it. Yes, the Kanatis have thin sidewalls. Even though they're 3-ply thickness, they're still very thin. and very fragile. And so that was my main concern on this last trip to Flagstaff, was to protect those tires. Fortunately, I've got a Nitto Trail Grappler spare, so in case I did take out a sidewall, at least I knew I had one good tire on there. The Kanatis are a very good traction tire. They're value priced, but they're pretty lightweight, and a lot of that is in the sidewall. One of the downsides of buying your tires online,
It's a trap!
is that you get what you get. When I took these to the tire shop to have them mounted, the run out was so bad that they had to do a road force balance on 3 of them, and still barely got them within tolerance. And I've been living with wheel hop and jiggle, and when they get unified and synchronized, the jiggle can be pretty pronounced. And I've been living with this now for 27,000 miles. And recently, I took it by the tire shop. I was going to have them rebalanced. They said, wow, they're really cupped bad. You need to replace your shocks. Well, I've got Icon Stage 1 shocks, 2.5 inch. I checked and tested the shocks. They're fine. These out-of-round tires, balanced as well as they can be, are still an issue. And they actually, after sitting for a week and getting a little flat on the bottom, within a mile of the house here, it went into full-blown death wobble. Now, it's just a very brief thing. As soon as you step on the brakes or slow down even a little bit, it goes away. So the first thing I did was come back to the garage, got under there with my torque wrench, because I was pretty sure that maybe I left something loose under there. No, everything was torqued to specifications. I recently put on some OEM lowers that Mopar offers that are just a little bit longer, maybe a 1/4 of an inch longer than the stock. They only run about $30 a piece, but if you raise your Jeep, say 4 inches, you change the geometry enough that you might be pulling some caster out of your alignment. And so this actually adds caster, which reduces the chance of having death wobble occur. So I installed those, and I was really surprised with 5.5 degrees of caster that those tires could actually trigger a momentary death wobble. So they're out of here. You know, the Kanati tires are excellent traction tire, 3-peak snow rated, and I really love the traction of the Kanati tires, but I'm not going to buy them anymore. I can't recommend them, simply for the fact that the sidewalls are so thin that any kind of hard off-roading or some rock crawling or going through some rock garden type stuff with sharp rocks, you're taking a real chance. So yeah, the Kanatis are gone. So in order to eliminate past mistakes, I decided that I was going to go ahead and go to a tire shop where I could actually talk with an expert. I could actually see and feel the tire that I'm going to buy. Yeah, you're going to pay a little extra, but I don't have any trouble with this guy sending his kids through college. Don't we all want our kids to go through college? But yeah, my days of buying tires online are probably pretty well finished. The other positive thing about buying them at a tire shop is that if you do get tires that have a lot of run out or have trouble balancing, then you have the option of the owner rejecting the tire and ordering another one, and it would be there that day or maybe the next. Yeah, Ray down at Bishop Tire there, he has no qualms about doing that. I had originally approached him about buying some BF Goodrich KO2s, and he told me quite abruptly that he stopped carrying the KO2s for that very reason. He'd get 4 shipped in, and 2 of them wouldn't balance, and he'd wind up having to get 6 or 7 tires to get a set of 4 onto a vehicle without any balance issues. And so I'm not saying that that's true everywhere. I know the KO2 is a very popular tire. I've got a set for this 78 Wagoneer here that I'm rebuilding. You'll have to forgive the mess. I'm right in the middle of doing a 6-inch lift on it. But I've got a set of KO2s out here just for this. So I'm not disrespecting BF Goodrich, the KO2s, or people who buy them. But I chose to go with the Falkens this time. And I opted for the Rubitrek rather than the Wild Peak. The Rubitrek is a slightly different compound, no less aggressive of a tread pattern, $50 a piece cheaper for the 315x70R17s that I bought. So I'm real pleased with them. They ride smooth, they grip fantastically, and I'll give you a full report here when we finally get them off-road. But I expect them to be every bit as good and every bit as efficient on the gravel as my Kanatis were, or any other brand of all-terrain off-road tire. So the Gladiator has 32,000 miles on it, and I didn't have it aligned after I did the initial lift on it. I didn't have it aligned after I installed the lower control arms, and so I scheduled an alignment while I was there at in Prineville at Bishop Tire. And I'm sure glad I did. The trip we took to Flagstaff, about 1,000 or 1,200 miles of hard off-road driving, and then the rest of that on pavement, took its toll. And it was quite a bit out of alignment as far as toe is concerned. The driver's side toe was towed out almost 4.5 degrees. And so we got the alignment done, towed in, and it drives just beautifully now, almost like new. The Mopar lower control arms that I installed that are a bit longer added a few degrees of caster, so we're running about 5.25 degrees of caster, and this adds a beautiful centering effect and a good weighty feel to the wheel. And so that was $60 well spent. I'll leave a link in the description down below to where you can get those lower control arms. You don't need to spend $300 or $400 on adjustable lower control arms if all you need is a 1/4 inch difference. These fill that niche. That's not to say that, you know, a better quality lower control arm replacement would need to be adjustable so you can get the type of performance out of your front end that you want, but it's really not necessary unless you lift it, you know, 6 inches or so. For a 3.5 or 4 inch lift like I have, the tiny bit longer lower control arms offered by Mopar fit the bill perfectly for me. So thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching. I made some obvious mistakes here with the my tire choices, whether or not to have my Gladiator realigned after doing any kind of suspension work. Anytime you alter the suspension at all, you should get it realigned. So that's all I have for this episode. If you like this episode, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Give me a like, it helps the channel, and I will see you on the next video, whatever that may be. Cheers!